Hello and welcome to Insource AI's weekly podcast. My name is Jason Vansickle. I'm one of the founders of Insource AI. And as always, with me today is Taylor Vansickle, who is our CTO, and Alexandria, who is our COO. And you might have guessed we are family. Alexandria and Taylor are my kids. And we have a family business together, and our business is artificial intelligence. So we like to do this weekly podcast to help share our knowledge and insights about artificial intelligence with you, because we know a lot of people are curious about what this AI thing is. It's everywhere you turn. How does this AI work? Is it really alive and thinking? Is it really intelligent? These are the types of questions that we answer each week on our personal AI insights segment, which is at the beginning of our podcast. And then we do a business deep dive where we talk about how businesses are developing and using artificial intelligence and talk about some of the things that are coming out, that whether it's in your personal life or in your business life, applications that you can utilize to make your life better, easier at work, to make you potentially more productive, so that you can understand, as AI becomes more influential, what's happening and how it impacts you. So I'm going to go to you first, Taylor. Is there intelligence in artificial intelligence?
I think, in a general sense, the answer is no. It's not intelligent. It's not like a person. It can't make rational thought. It can't think like we do. Um, if you gauge intelligence by how much something knows, that's another story, I guess. Larger language models, like the ones that OpenAI run, the ones that are like hundreds of billions of parameters, they know a lot. So technically, you could call them intelligent in the sense that they can pull on a vast database of knowledge. Just if you ask it something, the likelihood that it's going to know what you're asking and what to search for is high, especially with new tool use like internet search and things like that. But they're just basically like very sophisticated autocompletes that can autocomplete an answer by just having these huge amount of data just pushed into it. But it becomes a common misconception because if you're a general person that's just talking to ChatGPT, it seems like it's alive sometimes, just because you can have a back and forth conversation with it like you would any kind of normal person. I mean, sometimes it may get things wrong and say weird things, but it's a big departure from what we're used to from, I mean, even back in the mid 2000s, like chatbots online where you'd send a message and it would just, you'd know it's not a chatbot. Now it's starting to become almost indistinguishable.
Yeah, I think what we as AI experts have realized is that with the invention of artificial intelligence type systems like ChatGPT, that it's really challenged the entire concept of intelligence. It really comes down to, how do you define intelligence? And if you define it on a human basis, where we can think for ourselves and reason through problems and have self-awareness, there's absolutely none of that. So, Alexandria, one of the things that you really focus on is working with companies to build applications that can do things, not just using AI to have conversations. What are some of the things that people need to be thinking about if they're running a business, or if they're an employee of a business and they're thinking about, how is AI used in the workplace?
Absolutely. When people try to replace tasks with AI on their own, companies really open themselves up to all kinds of problems, and the biggest being security issues. There's a risk of employees pasting private data into public tools and outputs being wrong or biased, which is a huge deal if you're not checking your work and you're just using something like ChatGPT and expecting it to be right all the time. Without oversight, it's just messy and it's risky, and it usually creates more work instead of less.
So, one of the things that businesses really need to watch is the fact that AI, large language models, can be used now to build applications and build workflows. There's sites that have been around for a while, like Cursor, which allows almost anybody to go in and use an automated program to help build an application, even if you have very little or even no experience as a programmer and developer. But that seems really risky to me, even more than using ChatGPT to help answer some questions and write some reports. Now, people are thinking, well, I can just go to a site and build an automated workflow or maybe even an entire application to do my work for me. So I think what people are missing is that when you build workflows or applications, security is a really big deal. And a lot goes into security, whether it's the data and the way it's stored, the cloud platform it's hosted on, all of these things. So let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, it's a very big consideration, and I think once you start getting into like business applications, handling sensitive customer data, things like that, that's where you really got to be considerate about what you're doing. Let's say you're working on a login for a site, and for some reason the login's not working, and then the AI just decides, okay, well, I can't get it working because of the security feature that's on there right now. I'm just going to turn it off and get it working because he wants me to get the login working, but then I'm not going to mention that I turned it off. So you just have to be very mindful, and you have to go in multiple times and just check and say, hey, do a security audit or do a security check, make sure everything's in place. Depending on, level of sensitive data you're working with, or certain things you want to put into place, because if you just set an AI loose to make a site and you don't tell it the security considerations it has to have, sometimes it just won't put those in. It's just very important to be very thorough. And I honestly, at this point, would suggest, even if you're making a basic site and you know you need some kind of security feature, go learn about that yourself first. Go make sure you understand the security features and what needs to be implemented, and then work with something like that automated site building system, and so you can double check it while it's doing that.
Yeah, we always talk about the parallels between the rise of the internet and the rise of artificial intelligence, and really the only difference is the artificial intelligence is just bigger and has broader impact. But it's true. We're around 30 years from the release of the internet. It's been around for about 30 years, the internet has. And from day one, when the internet started, people started thinking about ways to automate website development. And 30 years into that, if you're a big company and you want to build a site with a sophisticated, purchase platform and inventory and all kinds of other things, you're still going to go hire somebody that's a professional to help you build that website. You're not going to go on to one of these sites that say it can instantly and easily build you a website if you've got a sophisticated business. There's just so many pieces that go into building web applications or workflows that I would never tell a business to let any employee try to figure out how to do that with an inexpensive, simple website. I'd always say find an expert to help guide you through that process.
Jason, I think the words of wisdom for today would be, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And I think that's good life advice. And as of where AI stands right now, if someone says that they can auto build that for you and they can't prove it to you first, do not put your money into that.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to end. So on that note, this is the end of this week's Insource AI podcast. We hope that you found the information today helpful. We want to let you know that we were doing a weekly 3-minute AI news segment, which is actually done by our AI avatar. So it's an AI. It looks like a human. It sounds like a human, but don't be fooled. It's an AI. And so our AI Cynthia, which stands for synthetic, is bringing us the news now every day. So subscribe to our channel and go to our channel in the mornings and click on the video link on the channels and pull up that day news. And in 3 minutes, you'll get the top news stories about artificial intelligence, and you'll start to get smarter and smarter about the world of AI and how it's going to impact all of our lives and how you can use it the best. And you will be the hit of every party you go to because you'll have these fascinating things to talk about. So thanks for your time today. Again, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, all the things you do for a podcast that you find valuable, and we will see you again next week.